Hi, everybody. We are at the end of September and we're moving into October. And before we jump into the Akashic Records forecast for October, I want to kind of bring up a few things that I think are really, really important. I don't know how you guys are maneuvering through September, but there has been an intense amount of energy in September. And I don't know how you guys are handling it, but it's kind of thrown me for a little bit of a loop. I can feel the energy going through my body like crazy, and lots of shifting, lots of leveling up, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Lots of snakes that were discussed in September's monthly forecast. Today, I'm actually doing this recording on September the 20th, which is when the masters discussed the serpent energy being activated, and they said it was going to be activated around the 20th. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I have seen snakes everywhere, all day to day. Snakes going through my body. Me feeling that snake energy, feeling the earth move, feeling the earth energy, and feeling the snakes moving through the earth. I don't know, by the time you guys listen to this, you might not remember that there was a 7.8 earthquake in Russia about 2 days ago, and some really significant aftershocks, which is part of this serpent energy. And, it was discussed that the earth would be moving. And again, I think that you guys can really expect feeling the earth beings begin to shift and move around and do their work. I've been seeing a lot of the crystal caves beneath the earth the last several days, feeling that they're being activated in a new way. But we will talk more about this, but I just want to, reassure everybody and make sure everyone understands that all is well, and that September may have been a little bit rocky for some of us just because of the energy, and maybe feeling a little bit, body's feeling weird, not knowing which direction to go, not knowing, what to do with your emotions. Emotions going back and forth. Maybe you started seeing things from a little bit different perspective, which is not a surprise. But, as we go through this energy and all of these changes, it can be a little bit hard to deal with on your own. And I just want you all to know that I have a team that helps me clear out my energy, helps me to stay on track, helps me to work through my emotions and my feelings. And I suggest that you guys find resources as well. But because I'm finding that, this is so common, I have created a monthly journal. And in the journal, it asks great questions about what are you feeling, and more precise to what's happening during the month and the energies that you're moving through. So every month there's a new journal that's being created, and each one of them are different. So I encourage you to jump over to my website at lisawetzel.com and then click on the shop, and you'll see that you'll see access to the journal, plus my quarterly magazine that also talks about what's happening each month, and also my book that has daily messages from the Akashic Records, helping to open up your heart and recognize the blockages that you may be having. So again, I just want to remind you guys that there are resources and that you can have help in working through these energies that are moving through us at this time. So jump on over to my shop on my website and see what we have to offer. I'm really excited about the product. It's a great journal. And again, okay, so let's jump into the reason why you're all here. And you guys are here because you're curious about what's happening in October. I am as well. So I'm going to ask my Akashic Masters to give us a little bit of a forecast to let us know what's happening in October and what we can expect. And also, I do want you all to know that I have had a huge download over the last 6 months. A number of things that have happened that have brought the Lyran galactic beings, the Lyrans, to me. And so when we're all changing, remember, when I'm doing my messages from the Akashic Records, the Lyrans may jump in with some light language. So if I start moving my fingers around or something comes out of my mouth that you may not be able to understand, it's an interacting between the light language and the Akashic Masters. Okay, so let's get started. We want you to understand that the Akashic Masters are standing here at this particular time in order to guide all of you through the next steps and phases of this evolutionary process. What we want you to know is that you will begin to recognize that the energetic properties that are being emitted in October are of a different energy form than what you have felt in the past. It's much thicker and much denser. And what we want you to understand is that this energy that's coming to the earth is also being elevated from the earth. So what I'm seeing is that it's coming down from the sky, from the universe, and it's also coming up from the core of the earth. And so what we want you to understand is that the energy that has been being emitted has been more from the idea of the atmosphere and the universe and the universal consciousness that is on the exterior of the earth. What you're going to be finding in the month of October is that the earth energy is going to start radiating up and moving into the earthly plane so that the universal energies and the earth energies begin to combine. This is a potent formula for the humans on earth at this particular time, and recognize that it will cause chaos. We want you to recognize and understand that there will be conflicts. You'll find conflicts within the personal nature of who you are, recognizing that you used to be one way and now you're finding that you're going another way and you're not sure which way to go. But what we also want you to recognize is that there may be conflict on a personal level between you and another individual. You may find that your temper is shorter. You may find that you're very irritable. You might find that you're feeling confused and lost and you're trying to figure out how to sort out your beliefs and your thoughts and your emotions, and you're not sure which way to go. We want you to understand that the reason why these are coming to the surface is so that you can recognize that you're tired and that you no longer want to live in this conflict and that it's time to see things from a different perspective. This is extremely important as you move through this month of October. As the months ahead are going to be settling these energies so that you can become more ingrained in a higher vibrational frequency within the physical structure of who you are. But what we want you to understand is that as of right now, this is the reason why the serpent or the snake energy is so significant. It's stirring up the earth beings. It's bringing more of the earth energy to light so that it can help shift the human construct. We want you to understand that as these earth energies rise up, old paradigms will be falling down, and you'll begin to recognize that there's going to be a clash in energies, and you're going to see that this is going to cause a destruction. So we want you to see as these old energies are falling and new energies are coming, it's chaos. And what we want you to understand is that it's the middle of the storm. And so what they're showing me, it's kind of like a car accident. You know, you're driving along and everything is fine. And then all of a sudden you hit your brakes and maybe you hit a light pole. And then in that minute of having the accident and the loss and that confused feeling of what do I do? What do I do? What's going to happen? What's happening? And then all of a sudden, bang, you hit the light post and then everything stops. And then all of a sudden everything's silent. And then you have to get out. And then you have to look at what the situation is and you have to assess it. And then you start finding that then everything starts getting put in motion where all of the steps are being put in place to remedy the situation. Okay, I have to call the police. I have to call an ambulance. I have to call a tow truck. I have to do, it's like all of these things that you have to do. That's what's coming after the month of October. So understand that October and November is the collision, that everything is coming and it's hitting head on. And so what you're going to find is that people, you've got to understand that it is not only the surface. It's not what we see on the surface. It is not only the surface things. It is the things that are going on within me. So what we want you to understand is that if you're going through a particular trauma and you have to let go of these particular energy patterns, you may find that you have to get to your breaking point so that you can let these patterns go. You have to bring it to the surface so that you can see what needs to be set free, and that's going to be the chaos. So what we want you to see is that this may be a rocky time within your own individual being, and in situations, clashes with others. Maybe you're going to have a hard time at work. Maybe there's, hard time with friends. There's going to be something that's going to happen or be created that's going to bring you the opportunity to let go of what is no longer needed. October is that month. But what we also want you to understand that November is going to be just as chaotic. And then we want you to understand that it might be through December, and then January, February, things will start getting settled out so that you can find your footing a little bit better. And by that time, you may have found more remedies to situations that need to be resolved. But what we do want you to understand is that the universe sees what is happening. We created this. We understand why things are unfolding the way that they are. So what we want you to understand is that it is significantly important for you to be able to find your flow and your rhythm. We want you to understand that the more that you get wrapped up in the energy and that you cannot think correctly or straight, then you are going to be able to find that you are going to be in the midst of the chaos without answers. And what I'm saying again is that it's like when you're driving the car and you hit the brakes, all you know what to do is hit the brakes, and then the car starts skidding. And in that moment, your mind is like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm out of control. There's nothing I can do about this. This is just going to happen. This is what we want you to understand. This is what you're walking into. So the more that you prepare and the more that you are aware that things are unfolding around you that can cause chaos, or that's causing you to look at things differently, causing you to let go of old energy patterns, understand that the more clear that you can be in your understanding of what is happening on the universal level, the more calm that you can stay, the more clear your eyes can see, the less chaos will ensue. And this is significantly important for those that feel the upheaval. You are all transitioning to a higher level being, and it is significantly important that those of you who wish to see the truth of what is happening and not stand in the chaos will have a calmness, and you'll begin to understand how to go with the flow and the rhythm. This is an excellent time for each human to begin to understand the term surrender. And what we mean by surrender is recognizing that it's time to let go, that there's no reason to hold on to anything anymore, and let the control be set free. Whether you're controlling your own situation, you're trying to force things, or you're trying to be controlled. It is significantly important that when you let these energies go, that you'll find yourself in the midst of silence. And when you find yourself in silence, in the stillness, you begin to see more clearly. You'll begin to recognize the energy flow, and you'll begin to surrender to it, and you'll begin to understand how you flow down the river with grace and ease. And again, I'm seeing a Buddhist monk, or a monk sitting in the lotus position in the center of a tornado. And this is who we want you to become. We want you to have the still mind. We want you to be heart-centered. We want you to recognize that the more that you can understand and see the energetic properties that are happening around you without your mind creating chaos, you'll begin to understand how simple this transition is. It is simply surrendering to the grace and the ease of all of the energetic patterns that will slowly and gently move you out of what once was and into what is. And this is what we want you to see. All of the earth beings are coming to the surface in order to help. They're doing their ignition work below the surface. They're finding their way and understanding what they need to do in order to create more chaos. But they're also on the earth plane to help all individuals. This is a time where one can surrender in a form of nature. If you begin to understand that all of the earth beings are as simple as animals that surround you. They are the breath that you breathe. They are the flowers that grow. They are the trees that exist. They are the skies that is blue. They are the clouds that float by. We want you to understand that these beautiful beings are around you constantly, and they are on earth at this particular time to do their job. And if their job is to give you comfort, this is the time where you can use this to the fullest ability that has been provided to you. We want you to understand that the more that you can stand in nature, the more that you can have your feet firmly on the ground, the more that you can breathe the beautiful fresh air, the more that you can smell a flower, the more that you can watch the animals, and I'm seeing a little rabbit hop by, the more that you can see the birds, the more that you can exist in the understanding of the connectedness of all things, you'll begin to recognize how these beings are constantly helping and guiding you. They're showing you the path to take to create the least path of resistance so that you can flow easily. We're moving into a time where humans are going to be more connected to these beings, and they're going to recognize that these energies are around them. Whether they see them or not, they are going to learn to feel them. This is becoming a prominent condition of all humans, is being able to understand the energy that is surrounding them simply in the forms of nature, wildlife, all of the things that exist, the streams, the creeks, the oceans, the lakes, all of the things that exist on earth carry energetic properties that create an alignment with all that is. These energies that surround the earth or that are within the earth are in humans as well. And the more that the humans can get connected to these earth elements, these earth beings, they will find that their heart is more complete. They will find that the soul's connection to all things is more understood. So this is extremely important that you recognize this. And for those that are in nature, to a greater extent, they're laughing and saying, you understand what we're saying. So what we want you to see is that the more that you stay in nature, the more that you are connected to Mother Earth, the more that you are connected to all things. And as you gaze upon the stars, you'll recognize that the sky beings and all of the beings and all of the helpers that are far beyond the human plane, you'll recognize that they are all in assistance as well. The earth is being inundated at this particular time with the galactic help and the angelic help. You'll understand that the earth is almost like it's just being taken over. And what I'm seeing is like the army, and the army is storming the castle. And there's like rows and rows and rows and rows of soldiers that are coming in to create exactly what's needed. So what we're asking you to do is to find the truth of who you are. What we're asking you to do is to understand this energy is coming. What we want you to do is to not panic. What we want you to do is to recognize that the energies that no longer serve you can set you free. What we want you to recognize is that you no longer have to stay in fear, anxiousness, and anything that is of a chaotic nature. We want you to understand that you on earth at this particular time as a human being has a soul that resides within you. Your soul knows what steps to take. Your soul chose you to be on earth at this particular time so that you could assist in the changing and the transition of humanity. You are on earth for a specific reason, and your soul is here to assist you. You are here to assist the soul. You and your soul are one energetic body, but you as a human has failed to see that the human construct or the human component is not all that is. You forget that there's the energetic body that lies within you, next to your heart. As your heart and your soul are one and intertwined together, the energetic body that has all knowledge, knowledge and wisdom lies within you, but you fail to recognize that you can go inward to this specific space and understand all that is. This is what's shifting. This is why you've chosen to be on earth at this particular time. Although many of you don't recognize, you feel like it's a complicated matter. It is this simple. The reason why humans are on earth at this time is to help shed the old ways, the old beliefs, the old control, the old energy patterns, and they can become more one with the soul's energy and what the soul has created for them to be. Humans on earth are here to assist in the shift of humanity and how we all see things from the human realm. The human is here to switch their eyes to a way that sees more love and fluidity and not the chaos and the hatred and the anger. This is why you're on earth. This is the reason why your soul chose you. You are on a path and you're being guided. You simply need to learn to listen. And this is the construct of the soul's guidance. Allow yourself to feel free and understand that your soul knows the path. By being quiet and being still and connecting to this heart space, you will find the answers that you need to take, or you need to have in order to move forward and go down the path that you need to take. And this is what's being provided to you today. So that was a lot. Sorry, my head. So I think that they're really trying to make a point of, I understand this so much because I was one of those people until I recognized that I needed to change the way that I was thinking about myself and start getting out of my head and drop down more into my heart and begin to start listening more to what my heart's saying to me. Your heart and your soul are intertwined. When your soul speaks through your heart. It is your divine gauge. It is what I'm saying is a compass. It's your divine compass. Your heart space, this inner knowing will guide you. It will show you the path and the direction that you need to take. We just simply need to learn how to listen to it. And I'm finding, in the sessions that I've been doing with people over the past few months, I have more and more people telling me that I may not hear the words, I may not see the vision, but I just know. I have an inner knowing. And this is what we're moving towards. We're moving to this place of being able to live from our knowing, from this internal compass, our soul that will guide us. And when we can start learning that something doesn't feel right, I don't think I should go that direction, or there's something in you that says, boy, I really think I need to do this. Something is pushing me to go somewhere. Something is pushing me to do something. And I don't really understand why. I've got so much stuff to do today. I don't really have time. Okay. But I'm going to put everything else aside and I'm going to start listening to whatever this inner knowing is, or this inner nudge. And I'm going to do what it's asking me to do. And I'm going to follow that path. And we may not understand what's going on from our mind. But once we start having the experience, or we set things in motion, whatever it is that our soul's trying to show us or direct us, the biggest complication in not hearing these messages is our mind. Our mind trying to control. Our mind saying, well, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. Or that's silly. I don't want to do that. So this is where you really have to start paying attention. And the month of October is going to push us to this place of chaos, to where at some time you're going to have to recognize that I have got to get out of my head. I have to stop thinking because it's causing chaos. And at that time is when you start listening to your inner knowing. That's when you start going in and you start feeling this space. and you start listening to those little gentle nudges, even though your mind might not really understand what's happening, this is called surrender. You're surrendering to your knowing. You're surrendering to that inner compass. And this is what is so significant. And October is going to push us to this place of learning how to trust, learning how to listen to that inner voice, that inner guidance. So what I'm going to challenge you all to do is try it. And, maybe you don't have to get to the point where everything is blowing up around you. Maybe you can just start today and start saying, okay, I recognize that I'm going to let my mind go. And I feel that there's something going on inside me. I feel that there's some things that are shifting. I feel things are letting go. And I'm going to trust. And what I'm hearing is another thing that people tell me all the time is about they don't like their job anymore. And through all of this huge shift that we've been going through over the last, since 2012, but it's been more evident over the last 5 years, is that we're starting to not fit the way that we used to. We are not content with our jobs, with friendships, with relationships, all of those things. And there's something that's preventing us from making changes because our mind tells us or justifies the reasons why to stay. But if you start recognizing that you're feeling a bigger division in the way that you once were and the way that you're feeling, you're recognizing that the universe is pulling you away, and you're going to start caring less. You're going to have less attachment. You're not going to want to hold on to it quite as bad. You're going to see that something's changing. And when you start feeling that, even though it may be something like a job, and you're finding that I feel like I don't want to be here anymore. I'm not passionate about it anymore. I'm not feel like I'm tied to the people anymore. But my mind is saying I need the money. But you've been here for so long, you don't need to change. What will you do if you leave this place? You're familiar with everything that is. So you recognize that those are the stories in your mind. That separation is what's going on in the soul. That's the energetic shift that is happening. And being able to trust that shift is what we're moving into. Fighting those mind stories of justifying why you should stay and learning to trust that the reason why I'm changing how I feel is because I'm getting moved into a different direction. Okay, I'm going to jump in with both feet. It's the hardest, scariest thing you can do. But this is the opportunity. October is the month. So this is the time that you can really start being aware of these feelings and of the separations, and that it may be time for you to make some changes, even if it's scary. And if it feels scary, then you need to start looking at why does it feel scary? And whatever that is, you can let that energy go as well. So what we also want you to recognize is that the path may be rocky, but what we want you to understand is that you'll be skating on ice when you get to the other side. And so what we also want you to recognize is through all of these transformations and these new energy patterns that are coming into the earth, each one of you is going to begin to recognize that you have new gifts that are coming online, that you're finding that you're seeing things with different eyes, that you are hearing voices, that you are having the gifts. The light language, the galactic connection is becoming more and more powerful within each individual. You're going to find that the galactic coding that is within you is being ignited, and you're going to start feeling things, knowing things, new energies coming online. Everything is shifting and changing. You recognize that there's going to be these beautiful gifts that are coming to the surface that you may not have ever known that you've had, but you will begin to recognize that they're coming to you with zero effort. You're coming online without forcing, pushing, or trying. It is coming to you in a natural way that is coming through you exactly how it's meant to. No pushing, no forcing, no trying to control. It's all natural. And this is another new element that will be coming to the human species within a matter of days. So you'll begin to understand that with all of these shifts that are occurring within the Earth's presence, you'll also begin to recognize that you're being ignited in a way that's creating more connectedness with all that is. Listen to the animals. Listen to the animals as they speak. When you hear a bird chirp or a crow caw, when you hear the noise, when you hear and you feel the wind blow, when you feel the breeze that goes across your face, when you get the smell of a pine tree, when you start recognizing that your senses are coming online, that you're hearing better, you're seeing better, you're smelling better, you're tasting better, recognize that these are the senses that are being ignited in order for you to be more in tune with everything that is. Slow down, take a deep breath, sit still, and stay present, and you will recognize that you're coming to life. And that's how we're going to end this. So I'm thrilled about this message. This message makes me really happy. So you guys pay attention and just get quiet. Just get quiet and allow everything to flow through you, and the magic is going to start happening for you. Now, again, as we talked about, there's a lot of energy that's going to be happening, and like I've mentioned to you guys before, the main reason and the purpose why I do this YouTube channel, why I do the podcast that I do, why I provide the information I do on my website is to help us transition, to provide the resources to get through these times. So again, jump over to my website for some resources, but on this same channel on YouTube, go to my podcast. The podcasts are all people that can assist and help you let go of these energies and process through, and they're here to help. And I suggest you use their resources. We can do a lot of this on our own, but sometimes we need help. And I can say that I have done a lot on my own, but there's been some deep, dark, deep down stuff, old energy patterns that I had to have some help getting to. I encourage you to use these different tools that are being provided. And there's so many beautiful healers out there and people that have these gifts. So take advantage of them and do what you can. And I support every one of you. And my heart is filled with gratitude. And being able to listen and talk to the people that are going through these experiences and watching people shift and change. My community members that I've been with for 5 years, watching everybody shifting and changing into this beautiful way of being. You may not believe that it's happening because you can't see it on the surface, but you guys, I promise you it is happening because I have conversations with people every day. I see it. It's happening. So hold on to your hat. Sit down, say a couple of ohms, and get quiet. And you're on to the new way of being. And thank you so much for joining me.